Hi everyone. Today in this video we will discuss about the some of the topics from that chapter wave. Okay. So second part that we are going to discuss. Okay. So we will see which are the topics that we are going to discuss today. The first topic it is that the principle of superposition of waves. What is meant by principle of superposition of waves that we are going to discuss now. So this principle of superposition of waves describes how the individual waveforms can be algebraically added to determine the net waveform. So what it says? It says that if many waves are traveling simultaneously through a point, how to get the resultant wave? That is given by principle of superposition. Statement we will discuss later on. Okay. So what is meant by principle of superposition? If many waves are traveling simultaneously through a point, how to get the resultant waveform? That is given by the principle of superposition of waves. So waveform tells about the overall motion of the wave. Okay, this waveform, but resultant waveform tells about the overall motion of the wave, but it does not tell about the individual particles of the wave. This is very important. It does not tell about the individual particles, but it tells only about the overall motion of the wave. And now we will see the principle of superposition of waves. So in this diagram you can see that wave 1 is there, which is shown by red, and wave 2 you can see which is shown by blue. So if these two waves are superimposed, what will happen? You can see that both crusts are traveling, both crusts are reaching at the same time. So resultant will be a wave. It is shown by pink. You can see that resultant will be a wave which larger amplitude. You can see that. Okay, and the amplitude will be equal to amplitude of first wave plus second wave. Okay, is it clear? So we can see the statement what it is. So principle of superposition of waves says that when a number of waves travel through a medium simultaneously, okay, at the same instant a number of waves are traveling, the resultant displacement of any particle of the medium at any given time is equal to the algebraic sum of the displacements due to the individual waves. Okay. So what it says, each wave will produce its own displacement. No? So the net displacement is given by the algebraic sum of displacements due to individual waves. Okay. So if first wave produces a displacement y1, second wave produces a displacement y2, and so on. If n waves are there, so the net displacement by superposition principle we can write y is equal to y1 plus y2 plus y3 plus etc. plus yn. Okay, that is the net displacement. So that is what is meant by superposition principle. Okay, and now we can see that in detail. So first case we are considering two waves which are in phase with each other. Okay, have the same amplitude. Phase means angle will be same. No, same amplitude, same angular frequency, and same angular wave number. So first wave, if it is, we are representing it as a sin kx minus omega t. Second wave also we can write the same way, a sin kx minus omega t. No, because both are having same phase. Same phase means angle will be same. So by the superposition of principle, what we can write? The resultant wave will be given by y1 plus y2. So what you will get? A sin kx minus omega t plus a sin kx minus omega t, which is equal to 2a sin kx minus omega t. So what is the speciality of the resultant wave? Resultant wave also you can see that angle is same. No, kx minus omega t. So we can say that it will be also in phase with both the individual waves. How we can say in phase? If the angle is same. Okay, the term sine of something or cos of something, if both are same, we can say both are same function, if both are sine function, and if their angles are same, we can say they are in same phase. Similarly, if both are cosine function, if their angles are same, we can say are in same phase. One is sine and another one is cosine. There we can say there will be a phase difference of pi by 2. That when we will discuss problems, that time we will discuss. Okay. So here I think all of you understood. So the net displacement is given by y1 plus y2, which is equal to a sin kx minus omega t plus a sin kx minus omega t, which is equal to 2a sin kx minus omega t. So what's the specialty here? Angle is same. So both wave, the resultant wave also in same phase, no. But the amplitude, now what happens to the amplitude? Amplitude became 2a. One has amplitude A, another wave has amplitude A. So the resultant, or by the superposition principle, by using superposition principle, we can say the resultant wave has an amplitude 2A, but angle is same. So that here we are showing by diagram. Okay. So one wave is there, another wave. If those two waves add together, the resultant wave have same angle, but amplitude increased. It became 2a. Okay. Same way here also we can see one wave is traveling from left to right, another wave is traveling from right to left. What happens when both waves come closer to each other? We will have a resultant or bigger wave will be there. After that, what happens? They are moving in opposite direction, so they will continue to move. Okay. So after superposing, they went back in different directions. Is it clear? Okay. And now we will see the next case. When the two waves are completely out of phase. Completely out of phase means the phase difference will be pi. Okay. So one wave we can write it as a sin kx minus omega t. Another wave, how we can write? A sin kx minus omega t plus pi. Why? Because there is a phase difference pi that is given already. So y2 that can be written as a sin pi minus kx plus omega t. That in that way also we can write. So what you will get? Minus a sin kx minus omega t. Or it is very simple. Sin pi plus theta is minus sin theta. No. So we can write minus a sin kx minus omega t is given by second wave. So by superposition principle, what you will get? Y is equal to y1 plus y2. Y1 is a sin kx minus omega t. Second wave, if it is having a phase difference of pi, the net displacement is given by 0. So here you can see that. One wave a sin kx minus omega t, another wave is given by minus a sin kx minus omega t. Okay. So both adds, what will happen? The net displacement will be 0 because one crest combines with another trough. Okay. Because of which net displacement will be 0. This is another example. First wave, one wave is traveling in positive x direction, another wave traveling in negative x direction. One is crest, another one is trough. So when both are reaching at the same instant, what happens? You can see that when superpose, resultant displacement will be 0. Okay. So this is very simple. If two crests comes together at the same instant, net will be that you have to add. If one crest and one trough, you have to subtract. If both are having same amplitude, in that case net displacement will be 0. Okay. Otherwise a1 minus a2 or a2 minus a1, like that you have to write. Okay. Or if both crests are adding together, you can write it as a1 plus a2. Is it clear? And here we are considering both are having same amplitude. That's why in the first case we have written 2a and here we have written 0. Okay. Now we are going to discuss about the reflection of waves. So in last year you have studied about reflection of sound waves. Here we are going to, generally we are discussing about reflection of waves. Reflection of wave is the change in the direction of a wave upon striking the interface between two materials. No? So when reflection takes place, when it strikes the interface between two materials, that time reflection takes place, because of which what happens? The direction of the wave gets changed. So when a wave strikes any interface between any two medium, the bouncing back of wave is termed as reflection of waves. That also you know. Bouncing back of wave is known as a reflection when it happens when it strikes any interface between any two media. And this reflection can be of two types. Either it can be a reflection from a rigid boundary or reflection from a free boundary. So here we can see that. Here we are considering a rigid wall, blue, that is shown by rigid wall, and here a pulse. Okay, single crust is traveling. So as time goes on, you can see that in each line or each from top to bottom, if you analyze, you can see that this pattern, that wave crust is gradual, that pulse is moving. Okay, so what happens when the pulse reaches the boundary? From there it gets reflected. So when it gets reflected, what happens? Here you can see that crust is reflected as trough. Okay, why, that we are going to discuss. Okay, is it clear? So in the case of a rigid boundary, a crust will be reflected as trough, or there is a 180-degree phase difference. So we are going to discuss about the reflection at rigid boundary. Consider a string which is fixed to the wall, that already I have shown you there, which is fixed to the wall at one end. When an incident wave hits the wall, what happens? It will exert a force on the wall. No? When an incident wave is reaching, it will exert a force. So according to Newton's third law, what happens? The wall exerts an equal and opposite force of equal magnitude on the string. Since the wall is rigid, so wall won't move. So therefore no wave is generated at the boundary. Okay, this is very important. This is a rigid wall, so wall will not move, so no wave is generated at the boundary. So what it indicates, the amplitude at the boundary should be 0. As both the reflected and incident wave are completely out of phase at the boundary, we can write phi is equal to pi. That is what it indicates. That is, whenever reflection is taking place from a rigid boundary, there will be a 180-degree phase difference between the incident wave and the reflected wave. So incident wave, if we are writing it as A sin kx minus omega t, reflected wave we can write it as A sin kx plus omega t plus pi. Why? Because kx minus omega t is A sin kx minus omega t shows the wave traveling in particular, for example, x direction, positive x direction. Then negative x direction should be shown by A sin kx plus omega t, and y plus pi because of 180-degree phase difference. Okay, but you will get minus A sin kx plus omega t. So net displacement we can get it as at the boundary it will be 0. Okay, so incident and reflected wave both are out of phase with each other. Okay, so here in wave is incident, that if we are pulling the string up, so pulse is generated, that wave is moving and that it is reaching the wall. So at the wall amplitude should be 0. Now we will see what is the reflected wave. So that is slowly it is reaching near the wall. Okay, so incident and reflected wave both are out of phase with each other. So here you can see that here phase reversal taking place. That is, a crust will be reflected as trough or a trough will be reflected as crust. This is for a rigid boundary. And now we will see free boundary. Okay, for that we are considering, this is, you can see that rigid boundary is shown by the first part, a graph, that diagram picture shown on the A, and figure 2b stands for free end. That is, a string is connected to a ring. That ring can be moved on a rod. Okay, so when a crust reaches, what happens? When a wave pulse is reaching, what happens? This ring also will be pulled upward. No, so in that case a crust will be reflected as crust itself. A trough will be reflected as trough itself. This is for a free boundary. Okay, so here you can see that a string, it is connected to a ring and that ring can be moved on a rod, and if you are pulling it up, okay, if a crust only created, one pulse is created, so when that pulse reaches the ring, what happens? It will pull up only, no? So because of which we can say that crust will be reflected as crust itself, and if it is a trough, that trough will be reflected as trough itself for a free boundary or open boundary. Okay. So the reflection at an open boundary will take place without any phase change. Okay. So in this case, what happens at boundary, pulse is generated, amplitude should be maximum. So reflected and incident wave are in phase with each other. So phase difference will be 0. So A sin kx minus omega t, reflected also can be written as A sin kx minus omega t. So net displacement can be written as 2A sin kx minus omega t. Okay. So amplitude will be maximum at the where it will be, amplitude will be maximum at the boundary. Okay. Now we are going to discuss about standing or stationary waves. From that term itself you might have got that wave will not be moving, it will be standing. A stationary wave is a wave which is not moving, that is it is at rest. When two waves with the same frequency, this is how a standing wave is produced. So that is given by this statement. When two waves with same frequency, wavelength and amplitude traveling in opposite directions will interfere, they produce a standing wave. Okay. So how, when we will get a standing wave, two waves are needed. They should have same frequency, same wavelength and have same amplitude, and they are traveling in opposite direction. When they meet, they can produce a standing wave. Okay. And conditions to have a standing wave. Two traveling waves can produce a standing wave if the waves are moving in opposite direction and have the same amplitude and frequency. So what happens at certain instances, when the peaks of both the waves will overlap, what happens? Then both the peaks will add up to form the resultant wave. No. Similarly, at certain instances, when peak of one wave combined with the negative of the second, one crest combines with a trough, what happens? In that situation, net amplitude will become 0. If one crest combines with one crest, or if one trough combines with one trough, that case amplitude is maximum. Otherwise, in this case, amplitude, second case, when one crest combines with one trough, in that case amplitude will become 0. As a result, a standing wave is produced. So in case of stationary wave, the waveform does not move. This is very important. It will not. Now we can explain. So we are considering a wave and we have a rigid wall which does not move. So when an incident wave hits the rigid wall, it reflects back with a phase difference of pi. So second wave, when the reflected wave travels towards the left, there is another incident wave which is coming towards right. No, reflected wave is coming, that time again incident wave is also coming. So the incident wave is continuously coming from left to right and the reflected wave will keep continuing from right to left. At some instant, there will be two waves, one going towards right and one going towards left. As a result, these two waves will overlap and form a standing wave. Okay. So continuously waves are incident from the rigid boundary, that is reflecting. So what happened? These incident and reflected waves superpose to form standing wave pattern. So mathematically, how we can show that only we are discussing. So incident wave we are writing by A sin kx minus omega t, and reflected wave we are writing it as A sin kx plus omega t. Why it is plus? Because it is moving in opposite direction. That's why we are writing it as A sin kx plus omega t. So by superposition of principal, resultant displacement we can write it as y incident plus y reflected. No, in what sum of displacements due to individual waves. Here incident wave is there, reflected wave is there. So net displacement can be written as A sin kx minus omega t plus A sin kx plus omega t. So A can be taken common. So sin kx minus omega t plus sin kx plus omega t. So sin c plus sin d can be written as 2 sin c plus d by 2 cos c minus d by 2. By using that formula, if you write, what you will get? 2 A we have taken common, 2 into sin of kx minus omega t plus kx plus omega t by 2 cos of kx minus omega t minus of kx plus omega t by 2. Okay, so you will get it as 2 sin kx cos omega t, because cos minus theta is equal to cos theta itself. Okay. So the net displacement you will get it as 2a sin kx cos omega t. So this is the equation which represents the standing wave. Okay. So here what is the amplitude? Amplitude is given by 2a sin kx. So here you can see that amplitude is dependent on the position of the particle. This is very important. Okay. So in the case of a progressive wave, amplitude does not depend on the position of the particle. Amplitude will be a itself. No, it will remain same. But here you can see that amplitude is given by 2a sin kx, which depends on the position of the particle, and cos omega t represents the time dependent variation or the phase of the standing wave. Okay. So the expression for standing wave, it is given by 2a sin kx cos omega t. Now we can see what's the difference between travelling wave and or progressive wave and standing wave. So we can see which are the properties of progressive wave. In the case of progressive wave, waveform moves. No, it will be continuously moving, and movement of the waveform is always indicated by the movement of the peaks of the wave. Okay. And second case, wave amplitude is same for all the elements in the medium. Amplitude remains same, no? A sin kx minus omega t plus phi, or like that if you are representing, that is A. Amplitude remains same. And amplitude is not dependent on the position of the elements of the medium. Amplitude will not depend on the position. So, and the mathematical expression for a progressive wave is given by y of xt is equal to A sin kx minus omega t plus phi. Now we can see which are the character or which are the specialities of a standing wave. In the case of standing wave, waveform does not move. Waveform will not move. So peaks don't move. Wherever maximum will remain as maximum, minimum will remain as minimum itself. And another property is that wave amplitude is different for different elements. For different elements, wave amplitude will be different, and it is denoted by 2a sin kx. That we will discuss. A sin kx. Okay, 2a sin kx, not a sin kx, 2a sin kx. And amplitude is dependent on the position of the elements of the medium. Okay, amplitude depends on the position of the elements of the medium. That already we have seen from that expression x term. As x value changes, amplitude also will be changing. So the expression for the standing wave is given by y of xt is equal to 2a sin kx cos omega t. Okay. So today we discussed about what is meant by principle of superposition, principle of superposition of waves, and reflection of wave from a rigid boundary and a free boundary. And we discussed one more topic, that is standing wave. I hope all of you understood, and if you are having any doubt, you can communicate that to me. I will help you. Okay, thank you.